I mean, key ingredients for, or most important things when embarking on collaboration. Well, we know that the white paper states there is a duty to collaborate. Um, and wouldn't it be wonderful if it were that simple? Tell people you've got to collaborate, you've got to work together, and they'll work together. And for many of the reasons we've said before, people, people choose to work with people because there is a purpose that means it's worthy. People choose to, I would say one of the biggest, most important things for people working together successfully is trust. And trust is not something that, again, you can tell, well, trust each other. Doesn't happen. Where does trust start to get built up? Trust starts to get built up through connection, interpersonal connection. We know the research shows that actually great collaborative partnerships begin with the work of connection, people essentially getting to know each other, becoming human to each other. And it reminds me of some of the things we heard on the front line in the project we were just talking about, where people said, because we saw people every day, because there was such a focus, because we met regularly, I started to realize that people who I thought were different to me professionally actually had skills that were really valuable. I didn't feel threatened by the other. So I think it's really the essential work of human connection, valuing difference, and then building up shared trust. That means we choose to collaborate. We want to pull other people in. And then we start to recognize that we are not diminished by that. We're enriched, and the people we serve are benefited from better services, all of those wonderful things we've talked about. But I will, if I feel threatened or vulnerable and there isn't trust and I don't have a relationship, I will close down. I won't answer that email. I'll shy away from collaboration, whether you tell me I've got a duty to do it or not.
And I think there's a certain irony for me that a duty to collaborate means I must collaborate. On one level, does not create a brilliant environment to foster collaboration. But I think it's interesting to see when the other C word has ventured so much in our policy making for the last 10 plus years of competition, to see the word collaboration have such a huge level of importance. One has to take the positives from that. But I agree. I think the work that needs to be done to make that policy a reality is going to require some very fundamental gear shifts across health and social care. I mean, even within healthcare, there's going to be huge gear shifts. Factoring in our social care as well makes it, quite seismic. And it's going to require a mixture for me of some big picture stuff and also the minutiae detailed stuff as well. The two don't exist in splendid isolation. And I remember, again, conversation I had with somebody who once said, co-location does not equal collaboration. And just bringing people together in of itself will not create the better collaborative working. I think that shared endeavour, that shared purpose, the shared benefit that we're trying to achieve, and people working together, because national policy is just that, it's national policy. But what does that mean to the health and social care economy of area X, population Y, workforce Z? And it's about working through that and involving the people at all levels. It's going to be really important. There's going to be some very basic things that need to be addressed as well. And I'm almost scared to mention these two letters, and they are IT, because things will succeed and fail by how good and connected, in the truest sense of the word, systems are across historical agencies and organizations. And we've got to be solutions focused. I think we've got to take some risk here. I think this is not a risk-free world. Well, we don't live in a risk-free world. The last 15 months has shown us that we live in a risk based world. It's about managing that risk, but it's about managing it with an eye on working towards the future, working to succeed on the endeavours that we've articulated and identified that are necessary for us to take things forward.
Things like IT and engaging everybody sometimes really don't fit together. I think what's really important to recognise is that if we want to involve a wider community, there'll be huge power differentials in those different actors that want to come together. And if we just assume that we can just use, well, our IT system, our offices, we've got space, you all come to us, then it's immediately the most powerful is kind of calling the shots, and people will choose to drop out. There will always be power differentials, but we need to think, actually, that small provider over there doesn't have access, can't really, how do we make them a member of this community that feels valued and important? Maybe we need to meet them in their space. Maybe we need to find a way to open up our IT systems there. Maybe we need to help them in some way, rather than just thinking, well, I guess for collaboration to work, everybody needs to think about what they can shift, give up, compromise on, offer to bring people together and keep that benefit and purpose in mind.
And I think the three words which went through my mind there were parity of esteem, that people are recognised as equal and are as valuable to the service, to the process, to the endeavour that we're embarked upon. And I hate it when I hear people say, "Oh, well, I'm only just ... Nobody is only just." And I think that's why we have to be respectful of people who may have power, authority, the biggest office, the biggest meeting room, etc., but also recognizing that everybody's got a part to play here, and nobody is any less valued or more valued than the other person. Because I think, for me, that creates a much more positive culture, a positive way of working. There's going to be challenges. We know there's going to be challenges. There's going to be difficult conversations. There's going to be difficult decisions that need to be made. But making those decisions with people in a positive way that's respectful of the breadth of opinions, the range of experiences that we've got. I doubt everybody will always be happy, but at least people can see why. It comes back to the very beginning. Why are we doing this? Why are we transforming? And in a way, that squares the circle. If you take people with you, then people will at least understand the why and what the purpose and the benefit of what we're trying to do is.